welcome back to North Dakota Today. Footloose the musical has hit the stage last Friday, but you still have time to get your tickets for this week and this weekend. We have Nick and Scott here, both from Oak Grove Theater Arts, to tell us all about it. Nick, you are in Footloose as the director. Scott, you are in Footloose as the Reverend, but you're also a part of Oak Grove Theater. There's a lot of inner workings here.
That's right, yes. So I'm the artistic director of theater at Oak Grove, and for this production we hired Nick Shones as a guest director to work on the show and bring some insight in a different way for the production. So
okay, well, we love this. We've all seen the movie, maybe, or if you haven't, it's a great story, great film. But what makes a live show different from a film?
Well, I'll turn that one over to Nick.
So everyone knows Footloose. It's an iconic movie, and it transfers to the stage just perfectly. From the opening number through the end of the show, it is just jam-packed with high energy, big dance, vocal numbers, and it's got all of our favorite 80s tunes, Holding Out for a Hero, obviously Footloose, Almost Paradise. So it's really got those iconic 80s numbers with good musical theater sprinkled all through it. And so it's really a great movie musical.
So is there anything majorly different? Are there any plot twists that might be different from the film? I have to admit, I've never seen the live musical, only the films.
It is perfect from screen to stage. It is a great transfer. Nothing changes. You will hear new music. There may be a couple new characters that you may be introduced to, but it really is just everyone's favorite movie brought to life on the stage.
How exciting! Okay, great. We have some nice photos popping up on the screen as well. So tell us about the first weekend. You already had your opening weekend. I heard it was sold out. There was lines out the door. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a great opening weekend. I think people are really catching on to the energy of the show. And it's a unique hybrid. So as you can kind of see, I've got gray hair and a mustache. This is I say it's a hybrid because we when we first hired Nick to do the show, one of the things that he said he wanted to try, and it was the first time we've done this in this capacity at Oak Grove, was to bring in some parents of our theater students, alumni, staff who work at Oak Grove, to be part of the production. And so I went back and forth whether or not I would audition, but I auditioned for Nick, and I am the role of Reverend Sean Moore, which is the movie, for the original movie. John Lithgow plays the character. But he also said, all right, hey, you know what, we want you to look older and more weathered, and he sort of said like a 4-year presidency, right? Like how it changes you from the first year to your 4th year presidency. So literally hair dyed, grew the mustache, actually had goatee, that went away for the show. But yeah, it just really is an opportunity to be part of it in a different way. And so, you know, it's a unique opportunity because for the first time I'm standing opposite of the students that I've been teaching for the last, some of them, 8 years. And so to kind of have that experience is really surreal and really meaningful and special. I'm the angry guy in the show for the most part, but the moments in which we're able to connect through the emotional arc of that character is really something significant and really fun. And so I think, you know, people are curious about that. People are, I mean, obviously Footloose, the music, the dancing, there's incredible dancers in this show. There's incredible choreography from Noah Roddy. We got a live pit band, and so and they're dads. So we have the bass player, the guitar player, and the drummer are all dads of our theater kids. And so it brings that whole new element of fun and excitement to the show.
And you know, I have to say, when you're in a show together, anything about the theater, you come together as one big family anyway. By the end of it, you feel like you've truly grown through life experiences with your cast and crew. So how has that been to join them? I know you touched on that a little bit, but you know, they're your students, and it's a whole new world, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 14 years since I've been on the stage. So, because I kind of switched over to my directing hat and producing hat for the last 14 years. And so to get back on the stage, first of all, was getting the rust off of that. But then also to find how to tell the story together with my students. And I will always remember that. And so I just did a horrible thing. I touched my mic.
No, you're fine. We're passionate.
You know, I will take that experience with me forever. You know, there's a lot of really tender moments in the show, and I think people kind of forget that of the story. That there's a lot of emotional arc in this show, and I think we think often of the big, huge, splashy dance numbers, but Nick really talks about it well in sort of how those adult moments and how those deep moments are really impactful for the show. So I'm gonna let you kind of go a little farther with that.
I think folks, it's true. I think folks really remember the huge splashy dance numbers, but at the center of the story, it really is about a father reeling with the loss of his son and a son reeling with the loss of his father, and how those two characters get forced together in a small town of Beaumont where fun and dancing is illegal, right? And so I think people forget that at the center of the story, it's trauma. It's trauma and grief, and through all of that trial becomes fun and release and freedom. And so I think that's what our audiences are really connecting to when they're coming to our production of Footloose.
Okay, so tell us when the shows are, how we can get tickets, and we need to do so in advance so we're not waiting outside the doors, huh?
Yeah, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows at 7 o'clock, and that's up at North Campus of Oak Grove, 124 North Terrace. And then Sundays at 2 o'clock. Tickets, you can get them online at oakgrovelutheran.com. And we do stress to get them in advance because we really, I mean, we've been sold out days in advance for this last weekend, and we are trending to that same thing for this weekend. So.
Okay, incredible. I can't wait. Everybody cut, everybody cut. I'm so glad you guys could join us this morning and break a leg. Nothing else to say.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. All right, coming up on today's show, Jillian will be sitting down with the University of North Dakota for what's happening around their realm. We'll be right back.